Hey guys, Barrett with Barrett's Music today, and my good friend and subscriber saltyshellback. Subscribe to him, by the way. I'll put the link in the description. He commissioned me to write him what he said was kind of like Napoleon Dynamite music, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. You know, as a musician, we call that bossa nova style. It's kind of in the jazz kind of sect of music, and it's a Latin jazz kind of style. So I figured I would give you guys the behind the scenes on kind of how I did this track for him. You'll be seeing this track. I'm not going to show the whole thing probably, but you'll be seeing this track on his next video, he said. So that'll be cool. But I figured I would give you behind the scenes on how I did it. So let's just start with the rhythm, the drum track. Well, since it's bossa nova, generally bossa nova is actually kind of like blues or really jazz in the way that the rhythm section really just does the same thing all the time. So in the drums, they do this. Like over and over again. And then on the snare, on the rim, which you can't really do on GarageBand. Yeah, you can, huh? Okay, well, you can do that, sorry. Then on the snare, you do what's called a clave pattern. And for this song, I chose what's called the 3-2 clave. There's your 3, and then there's your 2. So if you listen, I actually do the clave on this Chinese sound that they allow you to use there. Which it's actually not a clave at all. It's like this woodblock thing. But it sounds like a clave. So when I found it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm using that. So if you listen to those two together, you get... So you can hear that clave pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And, you know, in Latin music, there's only a certain amount of claves that they use, and the most two popular claves they use is the 3-2 and the 2-2. The 3-2 is a set of 3 rhythms together, and then 2, dot, 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 or the variation, what I did here, dot, 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 dot. And then they also have the 2-3, so they have a set of 2 followed by a set of 3, dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. So kind of like how in, you know, our American Western music, we have the backbeat to foundationalize our rhythmic setting. That they have the clave to foundationalize their rhythmic setting. So we have the drums and the Chinese kit. And then I did guitar. So, actually, this is the first thing I did when I was making the track, is I figured out my chord progression I wanted for guitar. And so the chord progression just happens to be like a G major 7 kind of thing. So what I did... Oh, wait, that's actually part of the percussion, too. My bad. I actually have a cabasa, literally, that I used live. Funny enough, I never thought I would use that thing, but hey, you find a use for pretty much anything over time. But yeah, that was a live cabasa. That wasn't a thing I found online or a loop I found. That was literally me recording that. So, yeah, pretty cool. So you put that together with the whole rhythm section, and get... Oh yeah, that was an intro. Yeah. So here's a trick for you guys. If you're ever recording, you just do one guitar track, and then you can kind of hold it, and you can say duplicate. So these are actually the same track, and then you can go to track settings. You can pan one to the right. See, and you can pan the other one to the left. And when you do that, it makes it sound more full. You can also give them more different effects too. Wow, that doesn't have any reverb on it. That's weird. Huh. Really? I didn't put any reverb on that? I don't know about that. I think that might have got messed up. I definitely should have put some reverb on it. That's weird. I'm pretty sure I EQ'd it a little bit too. But anyways, so yeah. So that's all the guitars. Basically just 2 guitar tracks. Alright, so then the bass track, I actually didn't do an upright bass. I just switched it after the fact. I actually did it on one of these basses, the muted bass or something like that. And all you do is you follow your chords. So, I mean, you kind of have to know your chord progression. So my chord progression was from G. Now, you don't worry about what's called the extensions of the chords. So, like if it's a G major 7, don't worry so much about having to put that major 7 in there. I could have if I really wanted to, like. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not really a bass player, but I know that in Bossa Nova, the bass has a specific theme that it uses that goes boom, 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 boom. And all you do is follow the chord progression and you do that style. You also add what's called passing tones. So if I'm going from a G chord to an A chord, I can use this note, which is a passing tone, to get from this note to this note. Bass does that a lot. Passing tone. You can also start higher than your note, your target note. So bass will do that. It'll add little notes at the end of the phrase. And then all I had to do was say upright, and it changed all of my MIDI notes from regular old electric bass, which is not the sound I wanted for Bossa Nova, because Bossa Nova is typically traditionally, more of a jazz setting where you have, a soft kit and an upright bass, a pianist, and that sort of arrangement. So if you put all that together, you get the intro, actually. If you put the percussion and the bass together. Then you get the guitars. After that little intro, the guitars come in. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. That is what I had to begin with. And that's not the thing that really made this track. What made this track was this insanely cool, spur of the moment, piano track, solo track that I did that just kind of brought it all together, which makes sense. I mean, a really good melody can save anything. Melody is the king. Melody is key. Melody is king. Like in business, cash is king. But man, in music, melody is king. It's just like you could have the best band in the world, but if your singer isn't any good, then no one's going to come to your shows. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, we can practice all we want as drummers and as bassists and whatever. But unfortunately, the singer does pretty much have the most important job in the music. Now, of course, if you have a good singer and a bad band, then that, you know what I'm saying. I mean, everything is important, but in music, melody really pulls everything together. Now, I wouldn't really call this a melody because it's more of a random, actually, it's not random. I wouldn't really call this a melody. It's more of just arpeggiation of chords as well as adding some chromatic notes in, kind of like what Chopin did. So if you really listen to what I'm doing, all I did was go up the chord right there. Now I'm adding some chromatic notes because all I'm trying to do is get back target note right here. So this whole little section here, that right there, is only targeting this. So you're coming from this note to get to this note. So you're literally using this whole thing as almost like a fill of chromatic notes to get to your target note. I don't know why it's not playing, but whatever. So that's pretty much the whole thing. So I have an intro section, then the piano, the melody comes in at the main section, and then I just honestly just repeated it because it works so well. And then I have what we classical musicians would call a coda. And I had to record a different kind of piano background for the coda. I actually had to record a couple of these different tracks. Actually, I had to record most things separately for the coda because it's a coda. Coda meaning it's a separate part of music. It's not repeated. It's a new statement of music at the very end of a piece. That's what a coda is. So you can see that the piano track starts to slow down. You hear those chromatic notes down into the last chord, and then it just fades out. So, but yeah, guys, that's the behind the scenes on how I did the Bossa Nova track, what I call Barrett's Bossa Nova. If you want to listen to this whole track, you can go either on Salty's channel and check it out on his next video, or you can also go on my SoundCloud, which I'll have in the description. I have a lot of my music in my SoundCloud. You guys can check out if you're ever interested. It's all free. I'm not selling any of my music. It's all free to listen to. I just like creating music, Now, I do have this program, so if you guys are ever interested in me creating new music, just let me know. As you can see, I got a lot of projects on here, and I'd love to add some more. So, this is funny. This is one of my students' projects. He was creating music. This is what he came up with. Very interesting stuff. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.